Hello everybody, this is another video for Shazoolo. I think that's his name. Shazoollo. Put a link in the description. I responded to one of his videos that he responded to me about, and I said that, I hadn't really paid much attention to in the past, but I noticed now that he has all these videos up about Wicca and witchcraft, paganism, all that good stuff, so I wanted to make some response videos to him. So right now I'm looking at the video that he put up March 1st, 2009, called Wiccans Ask Christians, Isn't Prayer Similar to Spellcasting and Magic?, where he asserts that prayer is the result of God's will versus magic being the result of our will. So I want to examine the concept of will from both the Christian and pagan points of view, that we can go from there and examine whether or not Shazoolo, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce that, is correct in his findings. So from the pagan point of view, I'm going to take the concept of will from Crowley. Since Crowley made this wonderful definition of magic, saying that magic is the art and science of creating change in accordance with one's own will. Now, the way that he talked about will wasn't really the will that you and I might normally think of, which is one's, choosing, one's, decision, one's wanting. For Crowley, in his commentary to the Book of the Law, talked a lot about the concept of true will. And the idea that true will was something that is one's true destiny, in not so many words, and that true will was connected to one's true nature. Now, if we think about the concept of true nature is a little bit easier to explain in the idea that true nature is something that one does not have control of. It is bestowed upon. Same with free will, or true will, that is. True will is bestowed upon you. So, the idea that one's true will is just someone's, random choosing, has nothing to do with God or the divine, isn't really, the case for most people. Now, this is my cat. Let's talk about it from another perspective. Now, the way that I learned about magic was definitely something that had to do with the divine, which is that it's what we call the dual current path. The dual current path in magic means that one liberates one's consciousness to a divine state, because, of course, our divine is a little bit different than your divine. When we liberate one's consciousness to a divine state, because we consider ourselves to be part of deity. So we are accessing the divine deity within oneself. So, is it our will? Yes. Is it God's will? Yes. And the reason being is that one cannot create change on your own, obviously. You need natural forces to be working with you. And those natural universal forces, of course, that we work with, those are our gods. You might disagree, but you can't prove that, so that's a point for another video. And we are definitely working it within the will of God. So now let's talk about the concept of will from the Christian aspect. So I pulled up some Bible verses, and I just wanted to read some of them back to you, okay, about will. And it says here in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 13, God hath from the beginning chosen you to salvation. Now, that kind of stands a little bit in disagreement with some of the concepts of, whether one can actually actively believe themselves to salvation, which belief is a completely different subject for another video as well, because that's also kind of a little bit of a faux pas with me when it comes to Christianity. But anyway, besides that, we have the whole idea that the Christian God is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnibenevolent. Now, when you have a God that is omniscient, that means that the God has perfect foreknowledge. When the God is omnipotent, it means that he is all-powerful and cannot be, falsified, cannot be, shown to be errant. So when you have a God that is all-powerful, inerrant, and perfect, and, has perfect foreknowledge, and that God wills you into being, you have no free will, because everything that you do was done so because God willed it to be. If He did not want it to be, He would not have willed it to be when He willed you into being. And the fact that He knows everything that you're going to do, and you have no choice to divert from what He wants you to do or willed you to do when He willed you into being, because He is all powerful and has perfect foreknowledge. You have no choice but to do what He wants you to do. Therefore, there's really no point to Christian prayer other than to make the person feel better about themselves, because everything that is going to be according to the Christian God, and there's nothing you can do to change it. Now, if you do try to change the will of God, that seems to me to be a little sacrilegious, because you're trying to impose your will onto God. And when you do pray for something that you want, you are imposing your will onto a God. Now, it's not going to work, obviously, and the ironic part is that He willed you to impose His will onto you, which is why the Christian God just really doesn't make very much sense to me. But the whole concept of will kind of breaks down within Christianity. And really, if you look at theology and you look at the Bible quotes, I'm going to leave you a whole bunch of them, there really is no free will in Christianity. So, you're right when it comes to the fact that prayer is not about your will in Christianity. But you're wrong when it comes to the fact that in Wicca and witchcraft, when we cast a spell, it very much is about God's will as much as it is about our will. And if we're acting in accordance with our true will, we're acting in accordance with that will that was handed down to us by our own deity. Therefore, that is the deity's will as well. So, I hope that didn't go past anyone's head. I realize that's kind of a deep concept, and there's lots of other stuff to talk about this video, but I'm already at 7 minutes just talking about will, so I'll have to make another video talking about other stuff.